Hey mamas, and welcome back to another episode of the Knitting Mamas podcast. Today we're talking about something that I think is going to be super duper helpful for every single one of you out there, but also for myself. Do you ever feel like you're constantly running on a treadmill, trying to catch up with your life, but somehow always feel like you're a step behind? We're diving into the why behind your stress and the how to snatch some of that time back, so you can get back to being creative, to knit a few calming stitches, or to go and read a great book. All the things that fill us up that we want to do. This is the reason why you tune in here every week, so that you can get back to those amazing things for yourself. So stay tuned as we unravel some common traps that might be stealing your peace and the mindful strategies to actually fix them. Let's dive in. Hey there, mama. Welcome to the Knitting Mamas podcast. If you're a mom who's tired of feeling exhausted and longing for some well-deserved self-care and rest, you are in the right place. I know that finding time for yourself as a busy mom can feel like an impossible puzzle. But guess what? You don't have to compromise anymore. Hi, I'm your host, Nadine Medina, and just like you, I am a mom, wife, and also a happy knitter. Over my 15 years of motherhood, I have been on a journey to discover how to truly recharge without the guilt and the never-ending quest for perfection. The secret? It's all about progress, not perfection. By focusing on simple routines, natural wellness solutions, and the cozy art of knitting, I found the path to feeling whole and content. And on this podcast, I'm sharing it all with you so you can do the same. Are you ready to find simple solutions to set yourself free from mom guilt, to take more time for yourself to truly rest, and to use your knitting skills for a mindful routine that creates space in your life so you can breathe easier? Let's take a deep breath, grab those knitting needles, and say goodbye to mom stress. Together, we'll create a supportive community that encourages you to prioritize self-care while juggling all your responsibilities. Sound good? Let's do this. All right, welcome back. So before we get started, I would love to have you hit subscribe on your podcast app to keep up with all the latest episodes. I release a new episode every week and you don't want to miss them. This way they actually show up right there in your podcast app at the beginning as soon as they're released on Tuesday mornings. And if you are learning something valuable on these podcast episodes, please go ahead and share it on social media. Either tag me at the Knitting Mamas or just share it in your stories. Share it with some friends and other mamas so that we can all help each other reclaiming time to getting back to our creative outlets. So in today's episode, we are going to explore some of the most common reasons you might feel like there's never enough time for yourself, which then creates the stress that we find ourselves under often. It's not just the overwhelm, but it's also this like, I just don't have enough time. I just don't have enough time. And I want to do all these awesome things. I want to get back to knitting. I want to learn how to knit, whichever one it is. I want to read a book. I just want to sit. And we constantly feel like there's just not enough time for any of that. So from the moment we wake up to the minute we fall asleep, it seems like there's these things that just kind of keep pulling at our time. And there's so many days where we can't really even figure out what the heck did I do? Like, where did all my time go today? So there's these things that we might do unknowingly, and we don't realize where our time is actually going. So I'm going to challenge you today to kind of look at your habits and shed some light on these kind of invisible things. And then talk about a couple of things that we can do in order to combat them and maybe gain a little bit of time back so that you can actually guilt-free go into all those things that you would love to do, right? So the first invisible thing, the thing that we all fall prey to all of the time, and I've made a couple of episodes about this already, but it's just this constant thing, it is your phone. There are either no or very few boundaries in regards to your phone usage. So you either scroll mindlessly on your phone, use social media too much, and you might even be taking your phone into your bedroom at night and charge it on your nightstand, which then will keep you awake at night, but it also will be the very first thing that you grab in the morning, normally. And it literally steals your time away as soon as you wake up and right before you go to bed too. So that is a simple trick that I've been using over the years to minimize my mindless phone use. And oftentimes it happens when we get a moment, right? When we have a quick moment, like standing in line, or while we're making dinner, or again, while we, get ready for bed, or we lay down. It's like, oh, look at that. I have a couple of minutes. Let's scroll on the phone and catch up and see what we missed. But really, all that does is it creates more stress. It puts you in this comparison mode, especially on social media, where you're just like, wow, I didn't do anything, but this person did all this other stuff today. And it's just not the greatest thing to do before you go to bed. Plus, you could be spending that time in such a more valuable way. For example, you could go ahead and learn how to knit. You can watch some videos and try it out. Like, grab it and sit in your bed and try the knitting. Or you can just read a couple of pages before you go to sleep in a book that is not super exciting, maybe, so that you actually get a good night's rest. And the same goes for the morning. So don't grab your phone first thing in the morning. Try to have some boundaries around that time as well. And instead, use your time more intentionally in the morning. Which brings me to the second point. You do not have an intentional morning routine. So in my opinion, this is where you truly win your time back, like your personal for me time that you can have every day. And it doesn't have to be a really big deal. It can be something as short as 15 minutes, maybe 30 minutes to feel like a new person. And I really do believe that. I've been doing some form of morning routine for at least 10 years. It's more than that. It's been probably more like 15. And I figured out that that's my time, my special time that I can fill with whatever I want. And, full disclosure, there are mornings when I do grab my phone and when I fall into that trap, and then my morning routine is gone. I quickly realize that that's not what I want to do every day. So the next day, I'm very intentional about it, and I try to get back to the morning routine that I actually have laid out, which for me personally is containing for sure a quick meditation. It can be so short. Like sometimes I literally do less than 5 minutes, but it centers you, it gets you in a good place, right? It reminds you that there's gratitude that you can focus on. There's good things. There's sunshine. You woke up this morning. Like there's all these positive things that you can kind of, remind yourself of through a meditation. And there's so many more benefits beyond that, but that's just a very basic one and good reason to do it. You can read a couple of pages. I try to do that. I try to journal. And this morning I did 10 minutes of yoga and realized how much I love that. Like it just stretches your body out. It moves you, but in a gentle way. It's not like a crazy workout first thing in the morning. So that's something I try to build in, but it's not quite a habit yet. And then I also love to take a walk. And that's just a few things that I try to build into my morning routine. It works some days and it doesn't necessarily work other days, but overall, it's definitely a time that I cherish, and I highly, highly recommend having an intentional morning routine. Number 3, you think that everything has to be done perfectly before you can actually sit down and relax, or you may even think that you don't even deserve to relax. So to combat that, you're going to have to let go of the perfectionism. You have to let go of that feeling that, only you can do these things, or you have to have something done in order to basically earn the rest or deserve the rest. I think that is the worst mindset we can have around rest, because all it does is just keeps us up and keeps us going instead of, realizing that we totally deserve the rest all the time, every day, especially as busy moms. And we definitely deserve to find something that fills our cup, that makes us happy, that we need to do for ourselves and only for ourselves. And it's completely okay. So let go of the perfectionism that you have to earn your rest. I don't think it's true. You can also listen to episode 20, where I dove a lot deeper into this topic on mom guilt and the guilt, that we create around rest. So hopefully, if this is you, you find some really great ways and a couple hacks that I have for you in order to let go of that. Okay, the fourth problem that I see often, and that, we all fall into here or there, is you are having a hard time saying no to people. You say yes to too many things too many times, and your schedule is completely overloaded. And most of the things on your schedule aren't even related to your personal life or your family where it would matter most. So this might be a hard thing to break, but it is essential in order to gain your own sanity back and to have those well-deserved breaks on your schedule for you so that you can function best. Because the first and foremost reason to do this is so you can show up for your family, all right? So once you have that down, you can then look outside and say, okay, I can say yes to this. I might be able to say yes to that. But please do not feel like you have to say yes to everything. Saying no is protecting your sanity and your mental health. Look at it that way. You are not letting anybody down, right? And that guilt that you would feel, or that, that feeling of like, I'm letting this person down and I'm feeling guilty about that, is in your mind. You are in control of that. The struggle is here. The struggle is real. We all struggle with something, but the suffering is optional. I mentioned that in the past, and I 100% believe that. We put ourselves through all those mental struggles and the guilt where it's completely unnecessary. You are allowed to say no, and you do not even have to give a reason either. Like, test it out the very next time you're asked a favor or something that is not necessarily aligned with your goals, or it doesn't really help you in that moment. Try out and try to say no. That is not to say that you can't do any favors for people or that you always have to say no. But if this is something that you truly struggle with and that is at the cost of your own sanity and at the cost of your mental health and your well-being and your creative time that you are not getting, then yes, you definitely have to try it out, and you are allowed to say no at any time. At any time. Try it out next time. I can't wait to hear about it. Number 5, the last reason why you might feel too much stress and have no time for yourself is that you think you have to do it all the time. So this is definitely something that all of us mamas struggle with for sure. But there is a way to delegate. And you can even ditch some stuff off your to-do list. If it's something that's been carried over and over and over every week on your to-do list, seriously consider if you need to even have it on there. Because just looking at it might put you in a stress situation, right? It just might be like, oh my gosh, I still have to do that, But then if you ask yourself, do I really have to do that? Is this essential? Is this necessary? Or can I just let go of it? If you can let go of it, cross it off. You're done. It doesn't have to get done. If it is something that's essential, can you just take care of it? Or maybe can somebody else take care of it, right? We're circling back to the perfectionism trap. What are some things that you can let go or that other people can do in your place? Maybe that's some household tasks. Maybe you can offload some of those to your kids, maybe your husband. Can you streamline your tasks? Is it that you're doing too many loads of laundry in too many days, right? Can you streamline it and just do one per day? That's something that works for me, but I know that's not for everybody. But just maybe just kind of think through if there's any way you can streamline and systemize the things that you do in your home in order to save time. Maybe you can have your kids help with the laundry, depending on their age, of course, and maybe they can even help you with cooking dinner. Definitely have them help you up with cleanup, wherever that is. So those are some things that you can kind of consider. And again, it goes back to the mindset of thinking, oh, I have to do this because otherwise it's not getting done, or it's just not good enough. People are just not doing it to my standards. Unfortunately, in this season of motherhood, we have to let go of that because it's just not going to serve us, because what we're paying with, right, for that perfectionism mindset, we're paying with our sanity. We're paying with the time that we could spend on ourselves, recharging our batteries, feeling good, creating things, I just finished a sweater today, and it's not a sweater, it's a cardigan. I'm going to show it on my Instagram. It is the best feeling. It's the best feeling. I just made it. I put it on. I'm like, I made this. This came from nothing. It's from scratch, and my hands created this. I want you to have the time to do that. I want you to have the time to do that. So hopefully these 5 things resonated with you. These were not to make you feel even more guilty or badly about yourself. These were just to bring awareness to what you might be dealing with. And they were definitely supposed to give you some ideas in regards to how you can address them, how you can make it easier on yourself, how you can carve out some more time that you can then use for yourself. Please don't go and use it for other things. It's meant to be used for yourself. Okay. So I really, truly hope this was helpful to you. Thanks for joining me in this episode today. And remember that taking the time for yourself is definitely not selfish. It's necessary, especially for us creative mamas. You need that time for yourself and for your creative outlet. And I really don't want you to let it be snatched up by things that really don't matter in the end. So this is it for this episode, but I would love for you to follow me over on Instagram at The Knitting Mamas for some more tips on creating balance, embracing self-care, and knitting tips and tricks. I also want to invite you to our Facebook community. It's a free community. You can find it at bit.ly/knittingmamas, bit.ly/knittingmamas. And on the 24th of April, we are going to have our next knit and chill circle where we come together, chat, hang out and grab our knitting projects and knit together, or just hang out and chat together, whatever that looks like for you. But I want to have this built-in, time that you look forward to every month for yourself, that you can spend with us and spend working on your project. I can't wait to see you or hear you in the next episode of the Knitting Mamas podcast. Hey mama, I hope you've soaked up some great ideas from today's episode. Remember, a happy mom makes for a happy fam. If today's chat hit home with you, it would mean the world if you could leave a 5-star written review on iTunes. Your review will help other moms discover our community and embrace guilt-free self-care. Also, if you're scrolling through Instagram, why not snap a screenshot of this episode for your stories? Don't forget to tag me at The Knitting Mamas so that I can shout you out on my page as well. Plus, that way we can stay connected and spread the self-care magic. Oh, and have you heard about our cozy Facebook community? It's a guilt-free zone where we share relaxing routines, essential oils, and knitting adventures, and so much more. Come join us today at bit.ly/knittingmamas and let's unwind together. Until we chat again, take care, mama. And remember, looking after yourself is not selfish. It's essential for that balanced life. Catch you soon right here on the Knitting Mamas podcast.